EJ Tackett has had a pretty mind-blowing start to 2023, winning the US Open, the Shawnee Classic and the Jackson Classic. What's more, he keeps running away from the rest of the field in the majority of the tournaments this year. He once again led the Tournament of Champions pretty much from round 1 and made the TV finals as the number 1 seed. However, he fell just short, losing out to Jason Belmonte in the final match. So even though he couldn't capture the win at the TOC, I still think that he really is the man to beat right now. And with the USBC Masters taking place from the 26th of March to the 2nd of April, EJ is arguably the outright favourite and will be looking to win his second major of the year. However, when a player goes on such a dominant run in any sport, they become a target. The focus is on them, and not only does this add a great deal of pressure with such high expectations, other players will be going all out to try and take them down. There is something to be said for trying to stay under the radar and taking the title when nobody really expects you to do so. The element of surprise can be pretty powerful in sports, and being the underdog certainly has its advantages, mainly that you have less pressure on yourself when you aren't necessarily expected to win. This allows you to relax in a way and just go out there and perform to the best of your abilities. But that's almost impossible to do when you've been dominating the bowling the way EJ Tackett has lately. He is the man to beat, and every single bowler on the PBA Tour will want to be the one to take EJ down. So there are two questions that we're trying to answer today. Can EJ win his second major of the year? And if not, who has the best chance to win the 2023 USBC Masters? There aren't too many negatives that I can think of about EJ's chances of winning the USBC Masters, apart from what I mentioned before about him having this target on his back. While winning majors is a huge ask, it still does feel like this is EJ's to lose in a certain way. Although he's never won this event, he did finish second in 2014, but Tackett has certainly come a long way since then. Tackett is a Triple Crown winner, but with a USBC title, he will complete the Grand Slam and become only the 4th player in PBA history to do so. The Grand Slam involves winning the USBC Masters, the Tournament of Champions, the US Open and the PBA World Championship. The only 3 bowlers to accomplish this are Mike Albee, Norm Duke and Jason Belmonte. Tackett has just been so dominant in the qualifying stages lately that you almost just take it for granted that he's going to make the TV finals. He's on such a good run that if he is ever going to win the USBC Masters, 2023 would be the year that you expect him to do it. So looking outside of Tackett, which other bowlers have a fighting chance to win the 3rd major of the year? There are 2 obvious choices, and the first is Jason Belmonte, as he just managed to defeat EJ in the final match of the TOC, despite EJ leading the tournament pretty much all the way. Belmonte now has a staggering amount of major titles, 15 to be precise, and while winning back-to-back majors is no easy feat, Belmonte has proved he is capable of just that in the past. He even won 3 majors in 1 year, the Players' Championship, the USBC Masters and the World Championship all in 2017. This feat meant that Belmonte became the first PBA player to ever win 3 major titles in a season. We spoke in a previous video about how Belmonte had a slow start to 2023, considering he won 5 titles in 2022 alone. Well, that slow start has come to an end after his recent TOC win, and Belmo can definitely ride on this momentum. When you consider that he has already won this event 4 times previously, he certainly has what it takes to defeat EJ once again. The second choice would be Anthony Simonson. If it wasn't for Tackett, Simonson would definitely be the best player of 2023 so far, and would probably be considered to be one of the best players on tour in general right now. Back in February, Simonson won his 11th PBA Tour title at the PBA Wichita Classic. Qualifying as the 1 seed, he defeated Barrett in the championship match. 2 weeks later, Simonson qualified as the top seed for the Jackson Classic, but did lose that championship match to EJ Tackett. And he also managed to qualify as the number 2 seed at the TOC last week, but lost his first match against Jason Belmonte. But even so, Simonson has had a cracking start to the year, and I think he arguably has the best shot at winning the Masters this year. Now let's move on to some other players that have a serious chance of winning the Masters this year, and I'm going to group these 3 players together, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to have an English champion. I think we have an extremely strong chance of seeing an English champion this year. Now don't quote me on this, but I believe that there has never actually been an English USBC Masters winner, although please do correct me in the comment section below if I'm wrong about this, but there are currently 3 English bowlers that all have an excellent chance, and they're probably the most well-known English bowlers too. I'm talking about Barrett, Stu Williams and Richie Teece. All 3 have had extremely strong starts to the season and have been in contention in multiple tournaments. Barrett had 2 second place finishes in a row. Stu Williams has been right up there in a handful of tournaments this year, but has just fallen short from making the top 4 or 5 to make the final stepladder stage. And Richie Teece has also been performing extremely well, finishing 5th at the US Open, and has also been in contention in events like the Tournament of Champions. So it seems very likely that one or more of these bowlers will make a very deep run. And I'm not just saying that because I'm English as well, but with all 3 of these players in arguably their top form, expect to see their names towards the top of the list throughout this year's event. Time will tell, however, if we will have an English winner, but it's clear that with their current form, all 3 of these bowlers have what it takes. A special mention now, and that's for Kris Prather, probably my favourite bowler on tour right now, but we haven't really seen much of him this year. He did make the TV finals at the TOC, but lost in his first match against West Malott. Personally, I'm just waiting for Prather to flick that switch and really get into gear, and I really do fancy him to come out and have a big performance sooner or later. And I think the USBC Masters could be the tournament where this happens. And to be honest, if it wasn't for his, should we say, lack of form so far this year, he would probably be on this list outright. So those I think are the main players that have the best chance to win this event, but you can always make cases for so many others. Players like Carl Troop, Jesper Svensson, and even some more previous winners like Jacob Buttroff and Thomas Larsson. And there could even be a surprise in store too. It seems like we're just waiting for a player to really break out and shock us all with a big major win. So that brings us to an end to today's video. Please do let me know in the comments section below who you think will win this year's USBC Masters. And once again, thank you very much for watching today's video. Thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.